Going on, we got to the channel where Big Dog back with another one take review. And today I got one for My Hero Academia Season 8, Episode 10, the penultimate episode of the final season of My Hero Academia. And this season continues to be great regardless if the episode is action-packed or we having the more sentimental moments with these characters, because we have another great one today. Well, not obviously, but you have a moment where like Hawks is talking to like Lady in the Gun, and she's allowed to be free, but like she's not ready to like be back in the world yet. So she says she's gonna kind of just like chill and sit for a while. You know what I'm saying? Hawks lets her know when if you do come out, hey, I got some stuff I'm gonna need your help with. You know what I'm saying? So I like that, and I like the fact that like Deku like affected her so much that like she's really gonna like change her life and like really gonna look at things from like a different perspective now and get a whole new leash on life. I love the like Deku's biggest thing was how it affected people, and whether it was heroes, villains, civilians, whatever. He always like left his mark on people, and I'm happy that they showcased that. Now the big thing, well, one of the big things from the episode is Deku obviously has to go have that conversation with Spinner that he promised Shigaraki that he would. The guy, he keeps his promises. There's one thing you know for a fact. And he goes to talk to Spinner, and Spinner calls him a murderer. He said, "What are you here to gloat?" Like so many different things. They were just like, "I'm here to pass on the message that Shigaraki wanted me to tell you that Tomoe Shigaraki destroyed to the very end." And Spinner was thinking like, "Okay, well, did you tell Compress this? You tell Diving?" Like, no, he's like, it was only a message meant for you, which kind of like highlighting the friendship that like Spinner and Shigaraki had. Now, now this is one thing I will say, that friendship between those two kind of wasn't like showcased as much as we probably would want to see. That would have made this scene hit harder, but I still really enjoyed it. We had a moment where like even Spinner not loses control, but like gets real pissed off at the whole thought of like what's going on with like Deku, and because all throughout the episode you hear people talking about what happened to Shigaraki's past being revealed. Some people just like, no, he was evil, he was terrible, he killed my friends. We can't, even though like he had a sad story, we can't like sympathize with him because we're gonna start getting other people like him. So many different things like that. But like I just love the fact that like Deku for one held his grind and he understood the choice that he had to make in defeating Shigaraki, and he's just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And he tells Spinner like, I'll never forget him. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget the lead. Spinner, before that, Spinner tells him like, hey, I'm gonna write a book about like the symbol of fear, Tomoe Shigaraki, and they're like, hey, make it into a comic. And reason being, Spinner even highlights, because we seen like what happened with like All For One and Yoichi, and like even if you can't read, the images transcend uh, 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 the comprehension. You know, well, not comprehension, like the reading levels. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put pictures in front of a kid or an adult, they all understand what's happening, right? So I really did enjoy that. But like the big moment from the episode to me is Deku and Ochako. Because Ochako is feeling like super depressed. She's not really talking to anybody. She's doing what she does and like keeping those feelings bothered inside about the things that happened with her and Toga, Himiko Toga. But Deku's there, as he always is, with everybody. You know what I'm saying? He goes out his way to find her because he knew exactly where she would be at, because at the same place they had the last conversation at. You know what I'm saying? And he goes up there and he's just like, hey, you don't have to like hold it in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you could, and I love that. Like he was there, and she just like, you know, she leaned into him and just pretty much just said everything she was feeling. And he's one of the people who can really understand. Now, a lot of the other battles were like showcase for everybody to see them, or like, you know, everybody had their whole perspective on them. But they didn't get on camera what was going on with Ochako and Toga. That was a very sentimental moment, because one, Toga died saving Ochako, and like she feels the blame, and she obviously still has that scar, and that constantly gonna be like a reminder of what happened. And she just, she, you know, she once she feels the blame, she feel like maybe things could have gone different. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, we could have helped her. You know what I'm saying? What if I was there earlier? Maybe if we had met at a different time. All those different things. And it's so great because Deku is one of the few people who can relate to her in this moment because it was the same thing he was doing with Tenko. You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, they've always had great chemistry. They've always been the couple, you know what I'm saying, in this show. Even though like it's not just necessarily like highlighted or just thrown in your face. It's clear for anybody to see. So I enjoyed that, but I also enjoyed when like the rest of the class came. And it was like, no, we were gonna find you. Like we knew something was up. Like just talk to us. You know what I'm saying? We're here for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's class 1A. That's legitimately class 1A and what they've been to one another this entire time. And I really enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? Also you had was that last episode or this episode? No, that was last episode. I was about to bring up something that wasn't in this episode. But like I appreciated that moment between them. And then the one thing I do feel like I wish was highlighted a little bit more though, and then Horikoshi would have like did a little bit more with, is Deku having to tell the rest of the class that like he's losing one for all. Because I know last episode we got the big moment with Bakugo, and the moment with Bakugo is like highlighted the most, obviously, because Bakugo known him ever since he didn't have a quirk. You know what I'm saying? So he knew him when he didn't have a quirk. He saw this whole thing, and he realized like everything that this means to him. And you know what I'm saying? In getting his quirk. The rest of class, ever since they've known him, he had a quirk. But like it's still like, I'm finna have to give this up. You know what I'm saying? I'm be able to stick around with you guys for a little bit longer, but I may not be able to do hero work. You know what I'm saying? I put it all on the line to defeat All For One, and you know what I'm saying. I kind of wish we got to see more of the other students' reaction to this news. He gave us a little bit of it, but I would have wanted a little bit more of it. And then the last thing you get in this episode is a kid seemed to be cutting himself out of a straitjacket, possibly of a straitjacket, and then just walking and just like why. He's like, why was it on me or something like that? Now, I do, unfortunately, this is crazy. I always read the manga after I watch the episode. So I go back and I read the chapter based on whatever the episode covered. So the manga actually showed me who this kid is. I'm going to save it for next week, but it is a really, really good moment that comes to fruition. Well, not come to fruition, but like that the show showcases based on the results of everything that's happened thus far. And then, I'm really excited to see it and talk about it next week. But overall, another great episode of My Hero Academia. I'm going to miss this. I'm going to be sick next week. I'm not going to even lie. Like I'm going to be very depressed knowing that that's the last episode of the serialization of the series. Now, obviously, I think on the 20th we get like an OVA, but this is, you know what I'm saying, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. It's gonna fuck us up. But nonetheless, great episode. Really enjoyed it. You guys let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch up with you guys later. Peace.